What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 2 of the Dinner Bros podcast. I got my guy here with me.
Carlicioso. Like this.
Got him here with me. We saw your responses earlier. If you had a chance to look on the social media page, we ran a poll, right? And this was specifically geared towards
The ladies.
The ladies.
So we had something for everybody.
Yeah. We'll have something for the fellas a little later. We might get into it.
Yeah.
A little bit though. So
we know we can just talk sports with them and they'll be tuned in.
So yeah, for sure. So what we want to do was we just wanted to start this off just with a little quick, college football Saturday recap. We got an Auburn fan here.
Yeah, his own got nothing on.
Yeah.
I had to go ahead and take that off. I think I took it off in the bar last night.
What happened? I didn't. Outside of the Ohio State, I don't really, watch too many other games, but go ahead.
Honestly, I don't even know what happened. But I can pretty much guess is we don't have any receivers. Damn sure don't have a quarterback. Our running backs are straight, though, and we need to fix that O-line.
So you talking about half the field, right? The entire offense?
Basically. Yeah, I think
that was the reason. But New Mexico State came in there and dropped 31. So what so what that say about your defense?
See, I think the defense is fine though. That despite what
31 in New Mexico State.
Hold on, hear me out. I get it. I thought the same thing, and I thought about this long and hard. I really did. So the thing is, despite the score last night, our defense has been on the field significantly more than the offense this whole season.
Right, because the offense can't keep the ball.
Exactly.
Right.
And so you're dealing with underlying. I'm not saying anybody's like injured or anything, but you're playing the SEC ball, just football in general. Though, it's some guys out there that's tired and hurt. There's probably some underlying injuries. You've played college ball before.
Glory days.
Yeah, played college ball before, so you've had some injuries or were hurt during the season that you could just play through. I'm sure your finger was hurt, your hand was hurt, your leg was hurt, but you were still able to play through it all. And so I think that's kind of what Auburn's dealing with right now. Is defense is just tired and hurt right now, not necessarily injured.
Well, they better get healed up quickly because you got Alabama coming to town.
Oh man,
and it ain't getting any easier anytime soon.
I think I'm going to the game, and I don't know if I'm staying for the whole thing or not. I don't know if I can.
It's one way to spend your Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Back to some other games before we get all the way in the round. We got you had, was it LSU? My guy Jaden Daniels there.
7 touchdowns?
8. We got LSU with 3 losses. Should he be in the Heisman conversation?
Most
even
definitely.
Though they had 3 losses.
Most definitely.
You could say he's probably one of the best players.
That'll be the only thing that's hurting them though is the losses. Though.
Right. But he still balled out in the losses.
Yeah.
You got Jordan Travis from Florida State going down. What does that mean for the ACC getting the team into the playoffs?
That playoff run over with.
It's over for Florida State?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion. Well, depending on how this next quarter, he responded pretty well. The backup quarterback did.
Right.
But also it was against North Alabama. Shout out North Alabama. That was my college.
Yeah, shout out UNA. But they got Florida to end the season with, and also Louisville in the ACC championship. Louisville, by the way, is top 10. I think they'll be 11-1, probably an outside shot to get in the playoffs. As disgusting as that sounds, the Louisville football.
Yeah. Who did they have last night?
Miami. They won on the road, beat Miami 38-31.
That's true. Oh yeah, I also asked you what was Miami deal, but you said you haven't watched too much.
I hadn't watched enough of them. They just seem like an overall solid football team that just can't put it all together.
Yeah.
They got a bunch of solid players and no real difference makers.
Yeah, for some reason they think they bringing this back, and I don't think that's happening anytime soon. They'll never be the same you.
And we'll end this because we got the game coming this week. That's right. You got the Ohio State going on to take on the world famous Buckeyes going to go take on the Michigan Wolverines in the Big House this Saturday. You got big noon kickoff. Fox will be there. I think it'll be 11 a.m. Central kick. Last time I checked, Michigan was a 4-point favorite. I guess rightfully so, right? You get 3 points being at home. So on a neutral field, they're saying Michigan's a 1-point favorite, so essentially a pick 'em. This is for all the marbles in the Big Ten, a college football playoff spot on the line, possibly the #1 ranking. The way the rest of the college football season is shaking out. And I'm not sure. Hold on. I'm not sure if the loser is necessarily out of the playoff picture. Not conceding a loss or anything, because I ain't conceding a damn thing. But still, just, looking at what could be a realistic outcome for either team.
Well, I was just going to say I really didn't have too much input on that, but Michigan was favored, 20 points yesterday over Maryland?
Over Maryland, yeah.
Yeah, and so all I was going to say solely off of that, I'm still not sold on Michigan. I don't know why. I know they have, 11-0 record right now.
Right.
For some reason, I just don't believe in them. That was, like you mentioned yesterday, that was the first real offense that they played yesterday. Now you're dealing with a team that has two of arguably the best receivers in college football.
Right.
And so I was just going to say I got my money on Ohio State.
We'll see, man. It'll be a tough place to play. Michigan has beaten Ohio State, beaten us the past 2 years. It's been a long, I guess it was for the 800 days or something like that, the last time we beat Michigan. You got no Jim Harbaugh on the sideline because of the sign stealing. Ryan Day's my guy, and not foreshadowing anything, but you got to beat Michigan. Can't lose 2 and 3 times in a row.
Yeah. Now that we got the boring shit out the way, let's get to the reason why we're really here.
Yeah, get the folks what they want now.
Man, I'm just gonna let you kick it off.
You let me kick it off?
Yeah, go ahead and kick it off. We put a poll out there for you guys to vote on, and for topics you want us to go over. So I'll let you go over the topics that won.
Yeah, so I don't want to get into the second topic first because we think it's low-key a little juicier than the first. First one has enough juice of its own, but
it does.
Yeah, we want to make sure we have a nice good segue here. So first topic, double standards in dating. And got a couple questions around those, maybe a few questions. Do double standards within dating exist? If they do exist.
Some may say yes, some may say no.
Right.
Go ahead.
If they do exist, are they fair? And are they accurate?
Some may say life ain't fair, so everything is fair.
But we got to talk about it.
Let's
right? Because like I said, we ain't gonna hide from nothing on here.
All right, and before we go on, we'll eventually want to start doing like live segments on this. So we're actually gonna have people in the background, part of the production team. They may chime in a little bit to help us out and navigate this conversation. So.
For sure. So within the double standards, right? You got what we like to consider 4 levers. And if you guys identify any more, feel free to drop those into the chat room. So for the first one, right? Is there a difference in opinion as to why a guy can date multiple people at once versus a girl dating multiple people at once, right? Is that different? 2, within the levels of dating, like how many dates should you go on with multiple people at one time, right? So let's say you got person 1, person 2, person 3. You're saying all 3 people. Should you be going on the same amount of dates with each person, right? Should you be investing your time and energy the same into multiple people at one time? Is that necessarily fair?
Yeah,
or does it depend on the actions of the person you're talking to, right? 3. I know this is a really juicy one here. You always like to talk about this one. What's that?
The stigma around sleeping with a certain number of people, male versus female. Is there a double standard? Why is it? And do we think it's accurate?
Right. So kind of like expound on that a little bit, right? So I know you guys have often probably heard it said, the more guys a girl sleeps with, society kind of frowns on it.
Yeah. And there's a saying, I had to look it up earlier because I didn't want to butcher it or anything.
Right.
They say a lock that can be opened by any key is useless.
Mm-hmm.
And a key that can open any lock is the master key. So you kind of like got to tie that in. And somebody could change my mind eventually. I don't know. But
that's how you feel about it.
Yeah. Yeah. But we can revisit that. We can go down
for sure.
Yeah. But I just want to throw that out there, give the people out there something to think about.
Mm-hmm. All right, so the stigma around dating multiple people at one time, boy versus girl. We've often heard it been told that there's a term been floating around, been percolating in circles called fuckboy. And, it's interesting, right? You ask females about it, and everybody always has a different answer. So it's like the term just gets thrown out there, and nobody really knows what the fuck it means.
No, I think they just like saying it.
I think it makes them feel good.
Yeah.
And, it's like, I tell you a story. Tell
Let
your
me hear
story.
it. Let me hear it.
So I've always been the type, if I initially started dating someone, I started seeing someone, I allow that person to dictate how this thing is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Basically meaning, if I get the hunch that you're talking to multiple people, I'm going to talk to multiple
No,
people.
most definitely.
Yeah, if I get the hunch that you only invested in me, I'm only investing in you, right? I just want to make sure we align. And I always let the female dictate that.
So you act in good faith.
I do my best to do that.
All right, as you should.
Yeah. So there's one time, it was a girl I met. I thought I was like really attracted to her. You know, we went on like a couple of dates, and she had told me, she's like, yeah, like, you know, I was always attracted to you from the jump. I just like never made a move. Naturally, I was like, why? And she goes, well, I just thought you were a fuckboy. And I'm like, okay, what does that mean?
Need a definition.
Yeah.
What's your
In
definition?
my head, I already got a angle of which way she leaning, but this is me kind of putting it on the spot. This is me interviewing her now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how.
Make sure she just ain't saying it to be saying it.
Mm-hmm. And what do you know? Well, you're a single guy. I just wanted to make sure that like you weren't talking to all of Nashville.
But that's how you get to know folks, isn't it?
Right.
There's no problem when they do it though.
Right. And you're being a hypocrite at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Because you just said in the same sentence, because you're a single guy, I wanted to make sure you weren't talking to all of Nashville. A, I wasn't, but B, if I was, why would it be a problem?
Exactly. You got to find somebody.
Yeah, you just told me I was single. You just admitted that you knew that. What's the problem? Let's juxtapose this. So you love the vernacular.
Yeah, I do. You got me looking at the dictionaries.
So I go, okay. I said, but when I look at you and I look at who you are, you've kind of built your entire brand. And again, like I said, we're going to take the name called out of this. I said, you kind of built yourself on empowering women to see multiple dudes at once, to go to all the nice restaurants, see if dudes to pay for those meals, to date different types of dudes, to date around, see what you want. You're young and in your 20s. You're having fun. You shouldn't commit to one guy right now.
But we're hoes when we do that.
Right.
Oh, okay.
It's a problem when I do it.
It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it.
And so I go, I find it rather rich that you didn't want to pursue me because I was a fuckboy in your eyes. But you're literally doing and also empowering
the same thing.
Yeah, people who look like you to do the same thing that you were scared of me about.
Yeah, I don't get it either.
So basically, I'm like, so you just want to duck?
Quack.
I thought about it for a little bit though, because she was fine, but I was like, man, I can't do that. But so like, why does that double standard exist though? I don't know if that's most women though, but I will say I ran that scenario by 2 or 3 other girls, and they didn't immediately call out the hypocrisy. So I'm like, do the majority of you think this way? What do you think?
I don't know, because I really don't know what's going on in women's head. I've dealt with the same thing as well, as far as getting called out on certain things and like, oh, you've done this and you've done that. Didn't you just do the same thing like a week ago? I really don't have too much to say, but like I just don't get it at all, like whatsoever.
How do you feel about
production crew? No, I was gonna ask the production crew.
Okay. What y'all think?
Yeah. I'm trying to get inside the women's minds right now. Do what? Oh,
I feel like at the beginning it's definitely acceptable for both parties to be dating. I feel like sometimes men love to make you think it's like more than it is, or they're only talking.
You want to know why? Do you want to know why that is? And you want to know why that is? And I'm guilty. Like I said, I ain't hiding from a damn thing. Here's why.
Well, look, before you ask that, let me ask this. Well, say something. Let me ask this question: do we feel like women are a little bit more selfish when it comes to are women more possessive? Like when it comes to certain things like that, when it comes to dating, like do you guys want to keep your options open, but you want this person to be all about you?
Mm-hmm.
I think it depends on the person. I feel like if I'm like really into the guy, I don't want to keep my options open. But like obviously it's hard because it's both hard to be on the page. So I don't think we necessarily. I think girls are afraid to be like, hey, I want to be talking to like only you. I don't want you talking to other people. You guys are like, nah, I want to talk to multiple bitches.
So we had a member of our production crew here, and what were you saying around guys trying to make you think that like you're the only one? And
Yeah, I just think that sometimes the problem is that men make the girls like call in on them when they're actually having multiple girls, which is fine, but it's like the way I think sometimes men go about it. Like they talk to you all the time, do other things, they're all in on you, even though they're not saying that. It's just how they go about it. And
right,
I think it can go both ways. I think
Just like
girls-
Drake said, you ain't the only one trying to be the only. No, I'm playing. Go ahead.
ain't no sense of playing. It was true behind that hell. Here's the deal.
I think it can go both ways.
Facts.
Girls do the same thing.
Correct.
But I'm just saying across all boards, like not just male, not just female. Like I think it's like a sense of honesty. Like you need to be honest and upfront with what you're doing because if you're not, then somebody's time is going to be wasted. I don't think that's fair. Like if you both are pursuing multiple people, then great. But if one wants to pursue just you and the other one wants to pursue multiple, I think that's information that needs to be known upfront because then that one person is just going to be spending all their time putting it into you when you're spending it, putting it into her plus him or him plus four other people.
I'm
That's what I think.
gonna challenge you on that because we've seen plenty of examples where both parties say, "Yeah, we're cool talking to multiple people," until who normally gets mad and they're like, "No, I don't do this anymore. I want to talk to just you."
The
That's
female.
honest thing, and then you did yourself.
Who does that normally hurt?
But and no, but I'm going off that. But here's the thing too. I'm just talking about in my experience. And I'm not saying this is all females. I ain't trying to have a whole bunch of clapback. I'm talking about in my experience.
Yeah, the clap back. Yeah, it's already coming a little bit.
I know it.
I'll keep it coming.
In my experience, I've had the female say, "I'm big on communication, big. But I'm doing what I'm doing. She's doing what I'm doing what she's doing. Apparently, she stopped. I'm still kind of have things linger around, and she's getting mad and throwing subliminal hints or just getting like little smaller attitudes, but not really. She didn't have that communication piece
Mhm.
with me, and now she's mad about because she didn't cut off X, Y, and Z, but I still got Y and Z hanging around.
I think that's her fault then because she shouldn't have like been around the She should have been honest.
But what
Yep.
is it?
Yep, and I think that's the problem. I think it's too many people trying to be too damn cool these days.
But yeah, I think that's
And it's like, you know, if you meet somebody and I only want to put time into you and I only want to invest in you, then just fucking say that instead of saying, "Oh yeah, I'm fine doing this, and this," and it's like, baby, you know you ain't.
Yeah,
You know you ain't. Just say what you want. Just say what you want,
Because
and
God
I'll tell
take
you.
God
Yeah.
take you literal. Like we don't guess. We're not trying to figure out like the missing pieces or anything.
Yeah.
So what you tell us is what we're going by. And so
And then when you tell me something, I go take it and run. Get mad at me. Hey, I done been got too many times.
Oh God.
I think she's a good point. A lot of times women are actually afraid to speak up and say what they want because they're scared of losing the guy in that situation because they automatically, which I'm not saying is correct, but I think a lot of times they're careful and they want to seem like play it cool because of the possibility of losing you entirely.
But is it worth it? Because
Facts.
is it worth it? Because you're gonna end up losing the guy regardless. So might as well just go ahead and lose them early on
Or just-
instead of
Right.
yeah,
Or trying to hold on to a piece of.
yeah, instead of getting your feelings involved and then getting hurt in the end.
And like that's very fair, but I said, I'm like again, like I would say, like that's their own fault because like you're not being honest. Like you know what you're getting yourself into, and if you're not being honest, then like you really can't blame anybody but yourself. So like, I get it.
And-
To say
and-
from a woman's perspective, I think sometimes women are just like afraid to say what they want because nothing you guys do, but like, you know what I mean?
I think you're saying we do.
I think, yeah, it's a damn whole production crew. Man, you know, I just think it comes down to this. people have a really hard time handling rejection these days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think it's bullshit that the dating world seems to be the epitome of that. But when people put in for, you know, an apartment and they put in for to go buy a house, to go buy a job, ain't got no problem getting rejected then.
Mm-mm.
But if a dude tell me no, then my whole world over.
Yeah,
with.
I don't get it.
Not all of them.
Most. Again, we love you guys, but we're gonna be talking in generalizations on the podcast.
Yeah, we're not talking about y'all.
Right, because it's too many people in the world. We can't make this individually about everybody.
Yeah, it ain't always about y'all.
Right.
I'm playing.